Hi guys, what's up? So Apple just had their October event, or let's just call it the MacBook event, like that's the star of the show. Anyway, let's talk about what they announced. So getting started, there's a HomePod mini with new brighter colors, but no hardware improvements. But the colors look pretty cool. Okay fine, let's get to the actual product announcements. There are new 3rd generation AirPods, not the AirPods Pro, but an upgraded regular AirPods. But now, the stick is smaller, with water resistance and better wireless capability, MagSafe and sound improvements. It's a redesign to probably match more of the AirPods Pro, but they lack some features, like the active noise cancelling and other small features here and there. These cost $179, the same as the previous AirPods. Next, the last but not least, the giant big new upgrade is the new MacBook Pros. Let's first go through the design and the display, then we'll talk more about the insides, like the system on a chip and the motherboard and stuff. So the design is a bit different, it's thicker and more rounded. As you can see, the touch bar, which was a small little screen on top of the keyboard, has been removed, replaced with the function keys, like the very older MacBook Pros. And the keyboard is all black now. The rest of the things are still there, like the fingerprint scanner and the headphone jack. One great thing people have been waiting for is that all the ports are now back. So there is an HDMI port and an SD card slot, and there's also 3 USB-C Thunderbolt ports. Thunderbolt really means that the transfer speeds are really fast. Even the magnetic charging cable is back now. For some reason they removed it on the previous versions. Now let's move on to the display. On these new MacBook Pros, the bezels are very little. The screen is more towards the ends. But one downside is that there is a notch.
Why Apple?
I thought when they added the notch it would have Face ID, but it didn't. The giant notch is only for the camera. It kind of looks like an iPhone that has been put in the middle of the screen. A good thing that it won't be interrupting the user experience as much. It fits into the menu bar perfectly at the top. Anyway, the display still looks amazing. So the display now has a high dynamic range with brighter and deeper colors. The display is a bit brighter also, at 1000 nits from the 600 that the previous MacBook Pros had. And now the display also has a 120Hz refresh rate, so the display is twice as smooth and responsive. The final and the largest upgrade is the performance. There is a new processor. I mean, it's not new, it's the M1, but it has big upgrades now. Last year Apple announced the M1 chip. I even made a video on it, and it was entirely built by Apple, and they stopped using the Intel chips. But it was only built for the budget and the lower end MacBook Pros. Now it's been made for the more higher end MacBook Pro. There are 2 M1 chips that they announced. One is the M1 Pro and the second is the M1 Max. The M1 Pro has a 10-core CPU with 8 high-performance cores and 2 low-performance, and the RAM is up to 32 gigs. It's still a 5nm architecture. It's about 70% faster than the previous M1 in terms of CPU and 2 times faster in terms of graphics compared to the previous M1 chip. That's crazy. The M1 Max is slightly larger. It has a more powerful 32-core GPU, up from the 16-core that the M1 Pro has, and the RAM is up to 64 gigs. Those were the products Apple announced. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next one.